Sagittarius, hello, and welcome to your 2019 Energy Soul Forecast. I haven't said that in a reading yet. But anywho, I want to give you a forewarning. The Saints played today, and my neighbors are having a Saints party. So in the event that you hear a little bachata or, some old school cash money, it's my neighbors. I apologize. I don't think we even won, but whatever. But nonetheless, welcome to your reading for 2019, Sagittarius. I'm going to be utilizing just the major arcana to give you an overview of the spiritual lessons, catalyst lessons, subconscious processes, and things that will be coming into your awareness in 2019. And if we haven't met, I'm Princess India. If we have met, how you doing, babe? I missed your face. But everything you need to know is in the description box below this video. But after we look at your energies, which this video will be useful throughout 2019. So if ever you're feeling doubt or you find yourself in, a place where you feel kind of off track, this will be a good resource to look back at throughout the year. And I'll create like a separate playlist because I was going to put this with all of the things I put up for January, but I'm just going to keep this one in a separate playlist so that way it'll be easily accessible and won't be drowned out by all the readings that I do this month. But after we look at these energies, then we're going to pull a spiritual message for you that I'm viewing as a meditative mantra. And it's a spiritual truth that I suggest you guys write down and meditate on at your leisure. But enough of the preliminary stuff. Let's go ahead and tune in and get your reading going. So Spirit, please give me clear and direct guidance for Sagittarius for 2019. Please, Spirit. Anything that will serve their highest good, anything that they need to know, anything that will assist them in their overall growth and evolution. I ask that you utilize me as a catalyst to be able to interpret the messages for their highest good in this reading, please, Spirit. Give me the ability to convey them in a clear and concise manner, and only messages that will serve their highest good. But I already know that you're good for it, Spirit, because that's what you do. So I thank you in advance. Know what I'm saying? All right, so let's see. Shall believe a little bit more. So we have our central spiritual lesson, our catalytic lesson. I really need to Google catalytic to find out if that's a word or not, because if not, I totally made that up. Sounds right though, doesn't it? What's coming into your awareness and your subconscious influence. So the overall spiritual lesson for 2019 is the Star. A lot of signs have gotten the Star. So in so many words, my wonderful Sagittarius, your overall goal in 2019 is becoming familiar and in tune with the essence of who you are, your authentic self. The beauty within, the truth of who you are, your soul's essence, and all those wonderful good things, and what's not, or whatever. The catalyst is the High Priestess. So, in this process this year, and this is very similar to what I said to Libra, so if you have that in your chart, most certainly check it out. But the process this year is going to be a great deal guided by your inner GPS and your intuition. It's being in Barnes and Nobles and, what happens to me quite often. It's, a book that's kind of poking out on the shelf, or a book that falls off the shelf, or a YouTube video that shows up in your feed that you keep scrolling by and something just keeps telling you to click on it. It's driving in the car and the homeless person on the corner saying a lyric to a song that you feel compelled to listen to. All of these things are mediums through which Spirit uses to speak to us. Most important of all of these is what it is that we're feeling internally. So if any way, shape, form, or fashion you feel that you have trouble attuning to your intuition or deciphering between your intuition and your own thoughts, a positive tip that I always tell anyone who will listen, honestly, is that when it comes to intuition and your thoughts, we have a tendency to think in questions, right? So it's something along the lines of thinking, what are they doing? I wonder what their intentions are. Should I go here? I wonder why they did that, right? But your intuition, when spirit speaks, it comes as like declarative sentences. So it's go there, go here, look there, pick that up, turn left, turn right. It's always statements, right? And of course, a lot of people describe it as a still small voice, which with the voice being inaudible and intangible, it's kind of hard to attune that over your thoughts. But it's really that really swift statement that just resonates with you instantly, right? Or it's just this unction or this feeling that you have, and it's following it, right? So when following your intuition, I know some of my students, like my Reiki students, they were telling me that it was troubling for them to follow their intuition because of the expectations of what the voice would be saying. So it's like, you should go to the gas station right now. And it would be the thought or the expectation that, if I go to the gas station right now, my ex will be there, or, something really magnanimous, so to speak, would happen. And, they'd go and it would be uneventful. But the way I kind of challenge that with them is that it's not always that, your intuition would tell you, like, go to the specific place and there's going to be like $100 on the ground or something of the sort. And kind of like what one of my subbies said in the Gemini reading about blockages and certain things, like an unction that told her not to go somewhere, in the place that she ended up not going, someone ended up getting murdered. You know what I mean? And that's an experience I've had countless times. I live in New Orleans, so, but anyway. But it's getting comfortable with that. So I say, even in the event, it's not necessarily needing to have an expectation. So don't have an expectation of what's going to happen when you get there. It's just start to become comfortable with deciphering between those statements and those questions, right? And something that helped me with enhancing my gift was actually, like, when it comes to working with people, because I would hear things all the time about people since I was a kid, and I was just like, I'm tripping, and then something would happen and I'm like, oh my gosh, I knew that. You know what I mean? So it was me kind of stepping out and taking a chance. So for those of you where this catalyst, well, thank you, Spirit, there's a great deal of you where this catalyst for you guys isn't just in the day-to-day, it's stepping into your intuitive gifts. So it's you having those dreams where and I would say you're aware of this, but not quite sure how to verbalize it. But it's when you have dreams, you can tell the difference between when a dream is for you and if it really has nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? Because of course, like, especially in a psychological framework, dreams are always interpreted as reflecting you. So it's like your subconscious using symbolism of other people and experiences to help you process something, right? But I believe that to be true. Majority of dreams are that, but there's a distinctive difference between my prophetic dreams and my regular subconscious process dreams. And it's hard for me to verbalize it, but I guess the best way that I would put it is it's a certain sensation that I'm accustomed to over the years, or even a certain color scheme in those dreams where I can tell the difference between the two. Because usually my personal dreams are crazy, but the dreams that I have that are messages for other people have a tendency to be more straightforward. And it's usually kind of me there and spirit somewhere around here, like telling me to do stuff or to look at things. So These are all things that you guys would want to start getting accustomed to, is how it is that spirit speaks to you. Whether your strength is, clairsentience or clairaudience or clairvoyance, what have you. If you're not familiar with those, I would most certainly suggest researching them. But a challenge for a lot of you guys is going to be trusting in the fact that spirit does speak to you clearly for the benefit of those around you, right? Whether that's spiritual teaching, tarot reading, preaching, what have you, right? And it's aligning with that truth and having the courage to reveal your gift or your calling to the world. So a huge part of 2019 for Sagittarius is going to be stepping into your callings. And I believe that this is something that I've said before, Sagittarius. Subconscious influence is the world. Absolutely. It's the integration of your higher and lower self. If we think about this in a very tangible, practical way, we can utilize the chakra system, right? So your first three lower chakras, your root chakra, your sacral chakra, and your solar plexus, are all your human chakras. So these are all like 3 levels of mastery of being human, right? The marriage between the higher chakras, which are your etheric chakras or your spiritual chakras, so to speak, those are married to the lower in your heart space. That's the reason why heart work is so important, and why more often than not, if you've ever gotten an aura photograph or you've taken like a chakra test, more often than not, the higher chakras will be balanced, right? But it's everything with the heart and below that have a tendency to be under or overactive. So if you want to utilize a tangible resource in your personal growth and evolution, it would be studying the chakra system and fixating more on, and I would even say a chakra test. I might post the link somewhere. But taking that chakra test to see where those, or you can go to a Reiki healer, whatever the case may be. Or you can use a pendulum on yourself or let someone else do it, whatever. A lot of ways you could find out if you have unbalances in your chakra. Anywho, but it's learning what each one of those chakras represent, the signs of when they're under and overactive, and more or less doing that self energy work, whether it's through yoga positions or Reiki self treatments. And guys, I am sorry, I am putting up the registration for the Reiki course on the website. I'm going to do it today, hopefully. But anyway, but that's a good way to help you kind of attune this intangible process that's occurring with you energetically to something that's very tangible and practical, right? Because what's happening is an integration with the self, and that's on a micro level as well as a macro level. So it's not looking at yourself fragmented in the sense of, spirit is out there somewhere and then there's me. It's understanding that you're one and the same, that you're an aspect of spirit. You're an individuation of all that is, right? It's understanding that you in relation to the rest of humanity, right? That there's an interconnectedness there even because we all are beget from the same source. So inadvertently, we are all brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? In our essence. So it's more or less attuning to this oneness concept. So at the heart of all of your experiences throughout 2019, this lesson will be at the heart of it. It's going to be different ways where spirit is showing you the interweaving or the oneness of all of mankind as well as yourself in relation to spirit, right? Now what's coming into your awareness is death. Nothing to be freaked out about. With the death card coming into your awareness, this is more or less you getting comfortable with this concept of the process of death and rebirth. And the concept that I use to explain this quite easily is the seasons, right? And that's nothing to fear. It's the fact of, spring turning to summer, summer to fall, fall to winter, and then winter again to spring, right? So we don't fear I do kind of fear the end of summer because I hate the cold. What little cold we have in New Orleans, 65 degrees is cold to me. Anyway, tropical weather, whatever. Anyway, but it's that whole process of how easy we allow the seasons to change It's you guys becoming accustomed with that cyclical process of life and understanding it's no longer going to be fearing when relationships end or jobs end or an ideology that you held dear ending or anything that you're tied to. You guys are going to be practicing non-attachment through your experiences in 2019. So by the end of 2019, going into 2020, which is going to be an interesting year, I'm sure, it's going to be a sense of peace that you have when you know that something is no longer in alignment with you. And it's going to be more of a celebration as opposed to a prior state of grieving when things are lost. You know what I mean? Whether that even be the transition of a loved one. It's understanding that it's not a true ending. It's rather a re-identification. And every day, every year, every month of our lives, we are consistently going through this re-identification. It's just the simple fact that we often don't take time to notice. And that's something, another point I want to drive home with you guys as well is, granted, we're all excited about going into 2019, which is going to be an amazing year for many people who have been through hell and back for the last 7 years. But do yourself the service of simply taking time to reflect, of looking back at this time last year and seeing your successes in your growth. And whenever I speak of success, I simply mean looking at where you were, where you are now, and what it took you to get there, that being your success. It's what you did in between those 2 points that is success in my book. It's not about accolades. It's not about other people saying, oh, hey, you're dope. You know what I mean? It's just that simple acknowledgement of the progress that you've made in the last 12 months, right? So we want to most certainly make that a priority. Now, today, dagnabbit. So now I'm going to pull you guys message from spirit from my deck of universal truths and what's not told, whatever. And you're more than welcome to write it down. I look at this as a good meditative mantra to begin 2019 with. And I've been suggesting that you guys write these down. And you can do it your own way, but my whole thing is whenever I do mantras, I always say them to myself 3 times and then sit in quiet meditation. And as I start to feel spirit speak, I just kind of start writing. But whatever process works for you, you could say it once, you could just read it to yourself quietly, whatever the case may be. But I feel like more messages are going to continue to unfold and a deeper understanding of the message that you guys receive will be revealed to you. Wow, okay, that one's sticking out. I feel like you guys should have 2, though. Thank you for these messages for Sagittarius spirit. Any other messages for Sagittarius going into 2019, spirit? Thank you in advance, spirit. What else do my Saggies need to know? Oh, I just realized I missed a birthday. Goodness gracious. Yikes. His birthday was the 28th? Oh, geez. So, anywho, first message that we have for Sagittarius is, there can be only one purpose for relationships and for all of life: to be and to decide who you really are. Oh my gosh, that's so real. To be and decide who you really are. The star is all about revealing, tuning to and then revealing and reflecting your true essence, your most authentic self to the world. Man. Next is, my teachers have all come with the same message. Not, I am holier than thou, but you are as holy as am I. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. I feel that, man. A lot of Sagittarians, you guys are spiritual teachers. And the thing, I don't know why I feel so compelled to talk about this, but it's like, if you think about the Hermit card, right? It's more or less, I look at the Hermit as descending to the basement of the self, right? So it's like taking this elevator down into the parts unknown of the self, and there you find your shadow. You guys duke it out so that you are able to slay the proverbial demon, right? Or for others, to unmask the wounded inner child shrouded in shame and hiding in the corner over there, right? And it's once you have that victory, it's again ascending back to ground level, right? But it's devoid of the checks and balances or black and white perception of the 3D world. So it's almost like descending to die to that perception and ascending with a whole new higher, like integrated world oneness cyclical perspective, right? And when you ascend in that way, there's a certain level of authority that you possess. It's a calmness that you possess, a, sage like serene presentation, because it's having that inner understanding of knowing that you are one piece to a very large puzzle, and that you play a very intricate role in this overall puzzle. It's when life no longer becomes so serious, or things become so grave, or things like external validation just suddenly lose their meaning, and it's being empowered in just being, right? Now, the bigger scheme of all of this is this process that Sagittarius is going through, right? Is bringing them to that ascension place to where there's no longer a me better than you or you better than me. It's understanding that at a soul level that we're all equal, right? Like we're playing hide and seek with each other. But the intricate, most important part about this process in 2019 is that you're getting like a PhD in, I don't know, existential metaphysical spirituality or something of the sort. That sounded fancy. But it's almost like you being tutored by spirit through your experience. So you have like a first hand account of how this process goes, so that you can step into your role as spiritual teacher or as way shower to show the way to others that you encounter on your path, for you to be to them what you may not have had, right? You being a mentor of sorts to lead people back to themselves and to share with them the light of truth that delivered you. You know what I'm saying? But that's a beautiful thing, Sagittarius. I'm extremely excited for you guys. Extremely, extremely excited. So, my dear, of course, like I said, you can visit this reading as many times as you like. Be sure to meditate on those good old little messages from Spirit that you got. And if you're not subscribed, you should totally subscribe. If you're subscribed and you haven't hit the notification button, I would do that, because next we have you guys January readings that are coming up. So you don't want to miss those, my dear. But other than that, like I said before, everything's in the description box below. And I will see you guys sooner than later. Love your face. Deuces.